Welcome back to Million Dollar Landscaper Podcast. Now, today we have some exciting news for you. So, over the past 5 years, you may have known us of having our Million Dollar Academy program. Now, we have personally been working with a coach to improve ourselves and improve our business. And one of the things that we have decided to come up and change in our program is our academy, our Million Dollar Academy. We are now changing it to the Profits Up Inner Circle. And this is going to be an amazing program. Now, if you're also familiar, we also have our estimating program, our Profits Up estimating program. That is still an amazing program. That is still available. That is still open and will forever be open. But you'll be able to get into that program now and get your estimates dialed in. The Profits Up Inner Circle portion, though, is going to be all about getting shit done. Pardon my French, but it is all about getting stuff done that you need to get done in your business. We see this over and over, no matter it's our programs, buying a piece of software, or whatever it is. People have great intentions, all these grandiose ideas of how it's going to help and make their business better, but they don't implement it. So the whole premise is we want you to take action in this inner circle. So what we are creating, we're still working out the details, but it's going to be co-working sessions. So what's a co-working session? Essentially, what we're going to be doing is we're going to have a 90-minute session where we're going to teach for a little while. It depends on the topic. Every month there's going to be a different topic, and we're going to teach about something, and then we want you to take action. Either spend the time working on what we talked about and getting implemented in your business, or maybe you need to do something else. Maybe that whatever we talk about is not necessarily that important for you right at this point, or maybe you've already done it, but you can spend this time working on something else. The whole premise was actually inspired by an Academy member. His name is Seth. He's a younger man, and he really inspired us to create these co-working sessions because what he said he does in our past group coaching calls is he gets in there and it reminds him he is a business owner, that he needs to work on his business, not just in it. And this really hit me hard. And it's like, yeah, that's true. We need to spend the time in here working on our business. And again, we see people come and go in our program, buying all these fancy softwares that are out there and not implementing it. And it doesn't do us any good if we don't take action on it. So again, our whole premise is get shit done in our inner circle. So be on the lookout for it. That should be coming out by the end of this month. And again, though, if you still need help with your estimates, getting your prices down exactly where you need to be, not based on somebody else's numbers, not just taking the materials and doubling it or tripling or whatever it is, based on your business numbers, get in our Profits Up estimating program. It is still available, will always be open. So get in there today. Now on to today's podcast.
We want to take a quick second to tell you about our friends over at Cycle CPA. I can't even express to you how important it is to have a good accountant on your side. You know you want accurate bookkeeping and financial statements every month. Instead, you're often left with limited time to focus on the accounting side of your business and no reports to show for it. At Cycle CPA, the landscaping accountants, they not only handle the bookkeeping, but also provide landscape industry benchmarking, job costing, financials by service line, advisory meetings, and much more. Cycle CPA has a team of landscaping accountants available to provide anything from bookkeeping to CFO services. Visit cyclecpa.com and for $100 off, mention the Million Dollar Landscaper podcast.
Easy Beasy, easy to use, easy to learn, affordable work order and time clock app with unlimited users included with every subscription. If you've ever struggled with the daily grind of keeping track of work orders, you have to check out Easy Beasy. Make and edit work orders anytime, anywhere you're working, at your desk, in your truck, on the job site, even on your couch. With Easy Beasy, you can easily copy work orders to use over and over, which is great for mowing and plowing. You can also keep track of employee timesheets, contact your customers, add notes, instructions, even pictures of your jobs. Easy Beasy works on Android and Apple devices or any tablet or computer. Easy Beasy also has a wide variety of reports so you can have all the info you need for billing right from your phone. Say goodbye to paying for extra users because everyone gets unlimited users on Easy Beasy. Try Easy Beasy for free for 30 days. Visit easybeasy.app/MDL to sign up. Easy Beasy is a simple work order and time clock app for mow crews, hardscape crews, and everything in between. Start saving time and money with Easy Beasy. Visit easybeasy.app/MDL to sign up today. Today's podcast is actually inspired by a member of the Landscape Business Owners Facebook group. If you're not in that group, get in that group. It's an amazing group of people in there. Great place to ask questions, whether you're new, been in business for 50 years, get in there, share your knowledge, post questions. It's a great place. But their question was, hey, y'all, I'm stuck in a cycle with my landscape business. I'm trying to scale up, but I can't seem to step away from the jobs. Those jobs pay the bills, but it doesn't allow me much room for growth. Now, I don't want to turn these jobs down, but worry about income loss and damaging customer relationships. Any advice? So this is a great question, and I really wanted to hop in and do a little podcast on this exact topic because it is something we see over and over. It's a cycle that people get into, whether you're just getting going, you have one or two people, or you have 10 people. People go through the cycle of I go out, I get people, I get work going, they mess up, I get mad at those people, those employees, and then I go fire them and I go back to do it myself or down to only one or two people. And they get in this vicious cycle. The other thing I see is people don't necessarily trust their employees with getting things done, and they have to stay on the field. They feel they have to be the one there on the job site all the time. So I kind of want to address this problem, this concern this person had. So again, thank you for posting the question inside the group. It's really something that really hit me and I wanted to share some ideas and some things that might help you out with this solution or with this problem. So one of the first things I do recommend is to have systems and procedures in place. And you might be asking, well, I can't make a system procedure for this or that. If you really take a look at your business, we do, for the most part, the same type of jobs over and over again. Now, there might be some little things that are a little bit different sizes, but for the most part, we do the same type of work over and over. So if you do lawn maintenance, you're still going in there, you're trimming, you're blowing, you're mowing, trimming bushes or whatever it is that you're doing all the time. You can make a procedure and a checklist that goes along with that. If you are putting in a patio, there's a certain way you do it, a certain way you dig it, how wide, how much wider you dig it for the base or whatever it is, a way of compaction and materials you use. It's the same type of thing. So you can make a procedure and a process for each of these things. And I know it may seem a little bit overwhelming, but it's something that can really free you up. The other thing, going back to the question of, well, I feel I can't leave my employees. They can't do it. They need me there. Well, is that true, or is that something that's just really in your head? And one thing I always remind people is looking back at your business when you first started doing whatever it was, whether it's patios, water features, lighting, mowing, whatever it was, you made mistakes, you made errors along the way. But you learned from those and you've adapted and made changes and improved on whatever that is that you're doing. Same thing with your team. Your team can do the same thing. Now, they have advantage, though, because you have gone through those mistakes. You can help prevent a lot of those mistakes in place by creating these system procedures and training your team. So once you get those procedures done and created, you start training your team on that and start giving them baby steps on how to get things done. One of the things that I first did was to help get myself out of the field was I found a crew leader that I knew can handle what we needed to do. I personally dealt with a lot of the water features, and the person we hired actually did a lot of hardscaping. They came from a hardscaping background. However, speaking to them and talking to them and working with them a little bit, I realized this person was the key guy, the key person for this position. He knew he wanted to learn. He had the desire to learn. He, had the knowledge, had the experience. So we started training him on this. Now, I didn't just go and say, here you go, here's a water feature after, I worked with him a little bit. What I did was I would go out to the job site, get him going, introduce him to the customer, all that great stuff, get him going on there and be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go sit in the truck for a bit, do some estimates, call some customers, go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, try to figure it out on your own. Come get me. You got your procedures, you got your checklist, whatever it is. If you still can't figure it out, come get me. So, and I just would eventually just go sit in the truck longer and longer and longer. Eventually, I'm like, hey, I got to go do an estimate. You got this? And they're like, yeah, I got this. They don't need you anymore. And it's something that we want to get our team to. We want them to be able to handle doing whatever. And honestly, I can remember looking back, one of my fears was they can't do this. They can't make it as good as I can. And there was some mistakes. I remember, the first one they did, I'm like, wow, that rock probably shouldn't lay that way. I remember thinking this in my head, like the rock should be laying horizontal and you got it going vertical. That's ridiculous. But when the customer gets out there, they don't see those little details like we do. And, the customer is ecstatic about the job. They love the job. And this is the exact same thing I learned from Greg Whitstock. He's the owner of Aquascape Water Features. And this is the same thing he said happened in his business years ago with one of his main people, Brian, back in the day. And it's the exact same thing happened with us. So it is something that is just we see over and over in business. So you can get away from that. You can train your people to do whatever it is you need to do. And they are going to make those mistakes, but they are going to learn. So like after I said that the employee had the rock going the vertical instead of horizontal, the way it should have naturally laid in the wild, and the way it came out of the earth. I showed him that and he learned from it and he improved on it. So same thing, like you improved on that from whatever it was you're doing, your team could do the same thing. So that was how I kind of implemented and slowly got myself out of the field. We had the systems and procedures and the process in place. I kind of went out to the field, got them going, worked a little bit, then go do estimates, and just kind of eventually just said, wean myself off of that job. And I delegated everything to them. That was the biggest thing is they can do this. They can be responsible to do this task. Looking back or looking out at like McDonald's, you go get a burger in New York, it's gonna be the same, taste the same as it is in, California or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's because they have the systems and procedures in place that go across their business worldwide. Same thing can be done here. The whole thing too with their system procedures, it was designed to be able to teach a lower level employee. So like for the McDonald's, it could be a high school student able to flip burgers and cook the burgers the exact same way in New York as it is in California. So it's the same thing when we create these system procedures. We need to think basic, very basic. How can we get it implemented? How can we get them out to the lowest level employee that they will understand it? So this is just some of the things that I really suggest that you do when you're looking at your business. How can you step out of the field? You have to step out of the field. If you want your business to grow and start to be able to sell more work, you have to be able to pass that and delegate that responsibility onto your team members, your crew leaders. And it goes back to creating the system procedures, start training your team and working with them on this, and let them know that you understand there's going to be some mistakes. You want them to try to figure it out on their own. And what happens is they become more confident. Once they start seeing that you are giving that control to them, they become more confident. They start being able to make better business, or not business, but they start being able to make better decisions along the way. So I encourage you to really step back and look at your business right now. What can you start making procedures for, and what can you start handing off to your team? We do have to be the rainmakers. We have to be the ones out there getting business. Unless you're going to have one of your other team members do this, you have to be one out there. So it starts becoming this battle of like hiring people versus, getting the jobs done. And if you eventually want to be the person getting the jobs, you have to get that jobs done some way by handing some of that off. So those are just some key points that I think that I would recommend to a person that is in this position that they want to get out of the field. They're not sure how. Get those system procedures in place, get those checklists that you go along with that. Start training your teams, start teaching them how to do it, wean yourself off, and you can have a winning business. So all right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you to the person. I didn't write down the name of the person that put that out in the landscape business owner. Shame on me. I do apologize. If that's was your question, I hope that answered it. If you have anything else, feel free to post a comment in the show notes. Love to hear from you. If you have any other thoughts or anything that you've done different in your business to help get yourself out of the field, put it in the notes as well. I'd love to see what everyone else is doing. So again, going back to our earlier conversation, our Profits Up program is still out available if you're interested in getting in that and learning how to estimate properly. Get in that program today. Other than that, be on the lookout for our new Profits Up Inner Circle. It's going to be an amazing program. Lots of stuff to learn. It's all about getting shit done. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great one.